So basically, this film is about my search for a lost singer. I found a thrift store record almost a decade ago and became completely obsessed with it, and really wanted to try and find out who the singer was, because I'd never heard a voice anything like it. And her name was listed only as Shella Record, very unusual name. So starting in Toronto, I went on the search to try and find her, not having any idea about where that would take me.
And why did you want to, of course, make this film into this idea into a film? Of course, it's like a sort of like an investigative journey.
My background is really visual arts, so that's kind of the world I'm coming from. To me, it was just a fascinating story. Like, why didn't anyone know who she was? And there's so few female reggae singers, and I'm really deep into reggae, so it was kind of crazy that I didn't know this voice. So I just started asking questions, and the fact that nobody knew, people that really should know, people that knew a lot more about reggae than I did, people in the Caribbean community here, like, no one seemed to really know. Everyone had sort of strange stories and rumors and red herrings, so that really just sparked a bit of a stubbornness to really start asking more questions and, keep the search going.
What were some of the challenges you had in doing this film, of course?
Oh man, there were so many. I mean, just the fact of being a visual artist rather than a filmmaker, I just had to learn basically how to be a documentary filmmaker along the way. Financial challenges of essentially this was a self-funded project with some arts grants as well, so it was really about when I could afford to travel and work on this. Like, literally it was about like buying cameras on Craigslist and eBay and stuff, having friends film stuff like this, and then the ultimate challenge of trying to find this woman, which proved incredibly difficult. Traveling to Jamaica, nobody knew, which I thought this might be a short, frankly, and it turned into a much more of an epic adventure.
So tell us why the sort of like difference between musicians today who use a lot of their social media and trying to become famous, whereas you're investigating someone in a time where there wasn't any social media and there wasn't a lot to get known. How did you find those time periods fascinating, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it's hard for us to comprehend these days that someone can really just drop off the map, that someone can disappear like that. And the only real artifacts we have are like literally these like vinyl records. That might be the only actual physical record, because if you weren't a huge name, if you weren't appearing in newspapers and, and magazines and stuff like that, then really it might literally be a dusty old vinyl record that is the only document of that song or your career or whatever. And if you weren't recording a lot, you can just totally vanish into obscurity.
Yeah. I know you did that short film on Stranger Cole, and it had a great soundtrack. It was very actually inspiring, and it's very it's actually moving too. Can you tell us, did you sort of continue that sort of composition with the music in this film?
I have to say, the soundtrack for this film is incredible. The producer of the Mystery song, Bunny Lee, is like considered one of the godfathers of reggae and dub music. So the soundtrack is full of some of the greats of like 70s roots and dub music. King Tubby, Horace Andy, a whole host of other like incredible musicians and singers.
How does it feel to be at Hot Docs this year with a feature film this time rather than a short?
I'm absolutely thrilled. Like, to be honest, there were times when I wasn't even sure that this film would be finished. So to have a premiere here where, there's a lot of people who are in the film can actually be here to be part of it as well is honestly a dream come true.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with your film.
Appreciate it. Thank you.